Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's your buddy Brett here, and I want to raise a toast to the birthday of one of my all-time favorite records. Turning 25 years old today, Metallica's Load, June 4th, 1996. I've already done my Load episode, so I'm not going to get too much into the record. In fact, I'm not really going to get into the record at all. If you want to see my episode on Load, where I kind of go over the record, I go in depth of all the singles that were released. I talk about the tour, the shows I went to. I show you guys photos, ticket stubs, backstage passes, whatnot, the whole nine yards. Scroll down, about a month or so ago, I did my Load video. Check it out. If you're into Metallica, if you're into the Load album, you won't be disappointed. But for this episode, much like I did for Master of Puppets when it had his birthday, I just want to tell you guys a story. Tell you guys a story that I think about every time I listen to Load. And there's a lot of them with this record because it came out in 96. I had just started my first year at URI, met some friends there that were like-minded individuals when it came to Metallica and heavy metal. When they announced the tour, late fall, early winter 96 into winter of 97, me and some friends went to a bunch of shows, Providence, Rhode Island, the two shows in Boston, Hartford, Connecticut, Pittsburgh. I went down to Atlanta, spent some time with my dad, saw the two shows at the Omni in Atlanta, and then they tore down the Omni, which was pretty cool. Metallica played, and then tore the place down. Saw them in Albany, New York, and so saw them a lot on that tour. Obviously, there's a lot of memories, but one or kind of two stories I want to share with you guys today revolve around my brother. If you guys have been watching this channel, you know he didn't turn me on to Metallica, but it was because of him that I was catapulted into becoming an obsessed, just massive Metallica fan. So when they announced the tour, he was in the middle of going to the fire academy in Brockton, Mass. to become a firefighter. So I didn't really know what his schedule was, but I went to his graduation, and I knew when the graduation was ahead of time, obviously. So I asked him, I said, look, you're going to graduate in 2 weeks after that. Metallica's going to play in Worcester on a Saturday night. Do you want to go? He said, hell yeah, I do. In fact, he took me to my first ever Metallica show on the Monsters of Rock Tour 88 in Portland, Maine. Metallica was one of the supporting acts for Van Halen, basically. And so he took me to my very first show. I was 12, and I think he was 16. So it was cool to kind of get together with him again as an adult and go to a show. So we bought the tickets, and it was the March 1st, 1997 show at the Worcester Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts. There's the ticket stub. I still have. You really can't read it because it's kind of faded. But came home from URI that Friday night, stayed at the house. The next day, we woke up, hung out, and then we decided around 2 o'clock in the afternoon we were going to make the 30-minute drive to Worcester to see the show. We get there, eat, drink some beers, get in line, go inside, buy some beers, get in our seats. We're in the upper deck. But like I said at kind of the beginning of this episode, I had seen this tour before. I knew what was coming. If you'd seen this tour, if you've seen the Cunning Stunts video, or if not, go check it out on YouTube. Something happens towards the end of the show. Shit hits the fan. Things explode. There's casualties, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's all staged. Lars and Kirk we can't play anymore, and then the guys come back on the stage. Some light bulbs kind of come down from the ceiling. They pull the string on the light bulbs, and they're it's like we're back in our garage days again. And then they play some songs, start swatting the light bulbs, they're swinging around. Looks really, really cool. They kind of do their encore that way. It's pretty cool. My brother didn't know this was going to happen. This was pre-social media, still kind of early internet days, really. Not everybody had it. It was American Online, AOL, dial-up. So he didn't know what was coming. So we're in the show. We're in the upper deck. We're having a great time. Just two brothers that loved Metallica growing up together. And now we're adults getting to share our favorite band. Watching them play live was just a great, great night. And then things start to happen. Comes that point in the show, shit hits the fan. One side of the stage, some sparks are flying, crackling in the amps. You can hear it crackling. On this side, more of it going on, and they're kind of playing the song, looking around oh shit, what's going on? They're still playing. I look over at my brother, and keep in mind, he had just finished the fire academy recently, and I could see his mind working which way do they got to go to exit the stage safely? Where are the firemen going to come up if there's any kind of, if they got to put out any fire? You can see his mind kind of working. Well, then things get a lot worse. Dude, I think, falls from the rafters, gets tangled up in the rope ladder. There's an explosion and some sparks fly at James. He kind of yells and does one of these numbers and shields his eyes, falls on the ground, and he's holding his face. I look over at Eric, and he's doing this. He's like, and he looks at me and goes, holy shit, dude, it happened again. They're done. This is the end of Metallica. We're witnessing Metallica's final show. And then it got worse. Dude comes out from under the stage, on fire, runs across the stage in flames. He falls, they put him out with extinguisher. A couple minutes later, like, this firemen and paramedics, like, in full get-up, coming out, putting dudes on stretchers. James gets a towel put over his head and ushered off the stage. And he's just like, holy shit, dude, we just witnessed the end of the greatest band of all time. And he's, like, seriously bummed. Not, like, to tears or anything, but he's bummed. And I'm kind of looking around, and, like, people are half stunned. But there's a lot of folks that you can tell they're getting that this is not real. And my brother, it's not clicking with him just yet. And as they're kind of milling around, like, nobody's leaving. And then he kind of he's like, are they, like, fucking with us? And I was like, yeah, dude, this is all fake, man. Hang out for a second, they're going to come back. Well, then they come back, they do their encore, and he's like, oh my God, my heart was racing. I thought Metallica was over. I was so scared. And, we rocked out the last couple songs. It was awesome. Going back, all he could talk about was how he thought the whole thing was real. And, just great memories of that show because of that. And when we talk about Metallica, I still bring that up quite a bit when we talk about Metallica and if we're listening to it together, which unfortunately isn't a whole lot these days because we don't live anywhere close to each other. But whenever we're talking about Metallica, for whatever reason, that story always comes up. So anyway, that's my stories from Load, revolving around my brother Eric. I want to thank him for, being a huge inspiration to me and helping me get into the best band of all time. And one more thing before we go. If you're a Metallica fan, this coming June 26th and 27th, it's 2021 World Metallica Fan Club Chapter Day. My good buddy Randy at the Space City Puppets local chapter in Houston, and my good buddy Justin Hunt from Rode the Lightning, the Rhode Island chapter of the Metallica Fan Club. They're kind of heading things up. So June 26th and 27th, go to those two chapters' Facebook pages. Check them out. Get involved. It's going to be awesome. You might even see a video from yours truly. Anyway, check them out. It's going to be a really, really good time. There's going to be some really good live performances streaming, so definitely check it out. And tell me your story about Load. Leave it in the comments down below. What do you think about the record? Hit that like and subscribe. Go over and find me on Instagram, Headbangers Closet. And until next time, guys, cheers.